Okay, so we'll get going in three, two, one. Good afternoon, Scott. Today I'm filling in for Jake, doing some volley rallies. I have Stephanie Rogers from White Family Dealerships. How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Excited to be on. They're almost at their 2-year anniversary with Volley. Stephanie is one of the best BDC managers that we work with. My team talks about her all the time. She is probably the most self-sufficient BDC manager we've run across. She's a Volley expert, which is great because it's a big platform. So, tell us about your team and how you guys use Volley and everything.
So we have a sales BDC and a service BDC. We do keep them separate. Our service BDC, we have all in-house. We have a total of 4 stores. They do all inbound and outbound service calls for all locations. I do have one girl who works from home almost exclusively. Volley's really helped us with that. It makes it where we can easily have a service BDC agent work from home. Our sales BDC is split. We've done better with kind of like a hybrid approach where the BDC works really closely with sales instead of kind of being the separate call center in the sky. They're actively on the ground talking to salespeople, helping get pictures and whatever it may be. Um, and we have one person who primarily works in our Athens store and one primarily works in our Lancaster store. This is in Ohio. It's about 45 minutes apart. Um, and they use Volley constantly, and it's been a huge help for them too.
So in service, what are your standards or what do you expect out of each agent every day?
So I expect a total of 180 calls combined inbound and outbound from each agent every day, and we judge them on a monthly average. I mean, today it's Monday. One of the girls has about 60 inbound calls so far today. She's not going to hit 180. It's not possible if she's
Yeah.
talked to 60 people. Um, but that's kind of the standard. What I've done with them, so we base their pay plans to be about 35 to 40% commission based on what they're generating for the service department. And I, after a few months with Volley, worked backwards because I had enough data to do it to help them set their own goals. How much money do you want to make? Here's how many
Oh,
calls you need to make to do it.
that's incredible. So is it based on shows, appointments? Do you include effort and everything in that as well?
We do shown appointments and it's on a tiered schedule. So the fewer you have, the less it is. Once they hit over 400 shown appointments per month for service, it really gets up there where they can start making good money. And then we do have a call volume portion of it too that ends up being up to $150 a month. It isn't substantial, but it is enough to help motivate just to get the call volume up there as well.
Well, I think the main thing that it accomplishes is it lets them know you know it's important and you're watching them. So
Yeah.
how do you juggle in between sales and service? What's the typical day like for you?
Um, for me, uh, so I don't end up on the phones hardly ever unless they really have someone who, needs a manager. And typically for service, that's a service manager. It isn't a BDC manager.
Mhm.
Um, I'm in there often looking at call volume, comparing sales versus service, making sure that they're on pace where they need to be. First thing in the morning, I do have a team lead for service BDC. I have her see what we have available. So
Okay.
she sends me a daily appointment available report, and then I adjust what campaigns they're calling on based on what we need. Um, that's one of the biggest tasks. And
No,
then
that's
continue.
good. I mean that's you're doing it exactly right because um, things change every day and an unused bay is lost revenue, right? So
Yeah.
what are your goals for service for the next year? Do you have any big objectives?
So our goal for our Lancaster service department is to do a combined 3.8 million in gross. So what I've done with BDC is kind of work backwards. So we figured out how many or how much gross we're getting on an average appointment, how many appointments we need, and how many phone calls we need to hit that many appointments, and worked the whole thing backwards to set their goals for this year.
Well, good. Well, one of the things you have you have Chevy stores. It'll
Mhm.
really be helpful when we get the OnStar programming done. We're getting close, so we might get our yes that we can start programming it in about a month. So,
Well, I can't wait. Every time we have our Chevy service manager in here, I'm telling him about it because my girls hate having to go into Fin Solutions, our sales CRM, and pull them out every day because it's just an extra step that they're like, why do we have to do this?
well, it'll be close, and they're switching to their new platform. One of the great things about you as you run these stores is there are no obstacles for you. We talk about that internally when we review accounts. You just get it done. You went from one CRM to another and back to another, and you didn't let it stop you. Um, what tell us about how you do it with sales? Because you have people making 300 and some dials a day in sales.
I mean, for them, it is just keeping up with them and reminding them that that's how they're going to make money. We set up their pay plans about the same. I don't want someone who's interested in what I'm going to pay them hourly. And I
Mhm.
think that's kind of the big step. I know when we first started, and it's taken a few years to get here, it was more of a pay them hourly what they need to make, and then, pay them a bonus on top of that. And we've really kind of transitioned that to pay them hourly pretty much as little as we can, as awful as it sounds, because we want it to be more of a sales mindset. Um, and then, I mean, similar to a salesperson, you don't want a salesperson in here making minimum wage hourly. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you've done a good job of aligning motives. So, what kind of results is the sales BDC seeing? Are you seeing good growth year over year?
Yeah, so one of the big consistently in our Athens store, we're selling between 13 and 15% of our internet leads that come in. Which is, I mean, well
Yeah,
above what we've
right.
done before. It's very good. Our Lancaster store is always closed a little bit worse on internet leads, but we are a Chevy store, so we get all those Chevy like retail loyalty leads and stuff like that that kind of skew the number. But we have seen about a 3% increase since starting with Volley. And the big thing that we actually just started last week is more of a traditional outbound retention campaign. So we're doing text campaigns to our lease end customers. And we're also doing really targeted campaigns. We're pulling the lists out of our CRM,
Mhm.
loading them into Volley and texting. Um, we have a Chrysler store and we have great specials right now on the Wrangler, and contacting customers who own them now outbound through Volley because it makes it so much easier than digging through and one by one sending a text message or sending an email through the CRM, and then the BDCs following up. And I know that they're doing it.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys just do a great job. What any other key indicators you look for in sales to make sure a lot of it is just call volume, answer rates.
A
Uh,
lot of it's call volume. And then I mean, I will say a lot of it is um I do check their appointment set rate. Um and I had to kind of reset my mindset on that with Volley because I am looking at total call volume, which can be such a high number. Where I'm not looking at it as total appointments set per lead. I'm looking at it as appointment set per call.
mhm.
Um, so like the appointment set rate, my goal for them is to be somewhere between 5 and 8%. But when you're making 300 calls a day, that's still a lot of appointments. And they are setting those.
Well, good. Well, really, congratulations on your 2-year anniversary, and thank you. You guys do an awesome job there. Anything else for today you want to close out with?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's been a great 2 years and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good afternoon. See you,
Thank
Stephanie.
you.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye.